everyone. Good morning. How is everyone today? So, there's a lot to talk about this morning. A lot happened last night. Those of you that are on Twitter, or perhaps you are subscribed to other wonderful reaction channels, you probably have already got the news that Foodie Beauty stepped over the line last night and she decided to be part of Nadar's chat. Yes, she did that. I've got so much to say about everything that happened last night, so I'm going to start from the very beginning. So let's just think about Foodie and her channel and her content for a moment. Foodie Beauty has always said that what we're watching is her story. Now, I'm someone that, for those that do not know, I'm a writer. I've written a lot of poetry and stories myself. I've been writing since I was very young. And one thing I know about stories is they always have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And Foodie Beauty, with her channel, there's always a beginning, a middle, and an end when it comes to her arcs. And I have noticed that when it comes to her arcs, she'll start something, she'll let it run for a while, and the while all depends on how much money it's making her. If it makes her a lot of money, then the arc will go on for a while. If it's not making much money, she'll bring it to a close in some form or another eventually. So Foodie Beauty is in Kuwait right now with Salah. And everybody who's been watching Foodie, whether you're a reactor or you're a viewer, you know this whole story arc with Salah, it's been phony from the very beginning. I mean, you can just watch the two of them, and even with the sound off, you know it's phony. This whole marriage is phony because there's absolutely no chemistry. And then everybody noticing that everywhere they go, they have a chaperone. And then there's the issue of them not wearing their wedding rings, which is something that you don't do if you're newly married or married in general. You get married, you wear your rings, they don't come off your finger. And yet, there have been several live streams where he's not wearing his ring and she's not wearing her ring. And then there, of course, is the obvious annoyance that Salah and Chantal have for each other. I knew that when Foodie said to all of us that she was going to stay there for 3 months, I knew that that was not going to happen, especially considering that December is the highest paying month of the year for all YouTubers. And wouldn't you know, all this stuff that happened last night is happening at the end of November. And we're only a few days away from December. So Foodie was with Salah for about, 2 weeks? And she let that arc go on. And now it's time to end the story. You know, I've been saying in my reacts, I did not know how Foodie was going to do it. I knew there was going to be some sort of disaster. Maybe Foodie and Salah would have a fight and she would come back home to Canada. But the ending that she gave last night, that made sense too. Because I remember something else that Foodie said a while back, and I'm sure the clip is floating around somewhere. It was on a live stream she did. She was in her car, and she said outright to the camera about Nadar, "I am addicted to this man." The moment she said that, I knew that was pretty much it. Because Foodie Beauty has addictions, several of them, and she has not sought out therapy or counseling for any of them. None of her addictions have been dealt with or resolved. They are continuing. Anybody who's been watching Foodie, you've seen her in Kuwait still binging on the food. And yes, that's exactly what it is. It's a binge, Foodie. What you're doing over there is binging. Just because you don't have a huge spread of food in front of you, you're still binging. You're still a binge eater. You will always be a binge eater. It's just that if you're an addict, either you're in recovery or you're not. And clearly, you're not. Clearly. Clearly, you're happy to let the addictions continue because you're not trying to stop them. But that's a separate issue. Let's go back to Salah and Chantal. So, Foodie went to Kuwait to spend time with Salah. And it would seem that the reason why Foodie did that was to make Nadar jealous. There are different live streams and clips where Nadar actually said that Foodie, she sent pictures of Salah to Nadar. Why would you do that? Why would you send pictures of your boyfriend or husband or love interest to an abusive ex? Does that sound weird? Reaching out to an ex that hurt you to make them jealous? If they were truly abusive and truly bad, you'd want to leave them alone. Not to trigger anyone, sorry if I do, but if somebody has abused you, you want to stay as far away from them as possible, and you want absolutely no contact. And yet, it would seem Nadar and Chantal have stayed in contact. She's still reaching out to him. This man that she claims hurt her repeatedly. He SA'd her. He DV'd her repeatedly, reaching out to him. And last night was the icing on the cake. She was in Nadar's chat, not just for a moment, but for several moments, and was going back and forth with them. Again, Nadar is someone that Chantal claimed abused her. She's around a guy that is not abusive, someone that she's claimed has actually married her, and yet where are her attentions? On Nadar and Didi, where they should not be. I'm just going to give my opinion here. Pardon me for a moment while I drink some more tea. Here's my opinion. I think that Chantal is still very much addicted, obsessed, wrapped around Nadar. This whole story arc, her one of many. She went to Kuwait to make Nadar jealous. But also, if you want my honest opinion, I think that this whole thing was cooked up between all three of them. Everybody is in on it, including Pete. I mean, how could he not be aware? He is her roommate. They talk. They've known each other for 17 years. He knows what's going on. He has to, because during this entire thing, he's been completely calm. The idea of Foodie not coming back, or when she comes back, he's got to move out. He hasn't freaked out once. Anybody out there that if you were living somewhere and if you know that your life is going to have to drastically change, and if you have very little money, wouldn't you freak out? He never freaked out once. Not once. Interesting, huh? Very interesting. Like he knew that she was coming back. So, going back to Nadar and Chantal, I think that she did everything that she did to make him jealous. She's a sugar mama. Nadar has always been the sugar baby. He does not want to be anything other than the sugar baby. He wants to be taken care of by a woman or women. And that was the purpose of his channel. Not to cook, because his cooking sucks. It was to find other targets to scam. To put him in front of the public eye, to find people to scam. But Foodie has been trying to get control of Nadar. So what better way to try to get full control than to go to another country with an attractive man? And that was her way of basically starving him out. And reminding him that just as she took him on as a sugar baby, she could do it to another man. And in the meantime, they weren't getting the money for groceries and whatnot. They weren't getting spoiled with money. That was her way of saying, you need to understand. I've got the money. You need the money. And without me, and without my money, and without my audience, and without my attention, you're going to wither away. That was her way of saying, I've got control, and I'm going to show you just how much control I have. Foodie and Nadar have always been involved in a power struggle between them. They're just who has the most control. What she's doing right now is a power play, and it worked. It absolutely worked. Because Nadar and Didi did a stream last night, and they were basically almost begging Foodie to come home. So, given their attitude, the way she was talking to them, the way they were talking to her, does anybody still think that they're all estranged from each other? No, they're all in cahoots. They've been in cahoots the whole time. So this whole thing with Salah, it's going to end. She's going to come home soon. And in the month of December, she's going to be raging and acting outrageously. And she's going to do it because, A, that's who she is. That's who she's always been. And B, because she's got a lot of money to make. She's been losing money since she's been in Kuwait. Her videos, her views have been next to nothing. She's got a lot to make up for, so she's really got to crank it up. She's got to pour a lot of gas in the gas tank and get going. But enough of my blabber. Let me just show you all the things that I found on Twitter, okay? And let you guys decide for yourselves. All right. So let's start with this. I try to put everything in order, but some things may be out of order. Okay, so this is Foodie and Nadar's chat. She made several statements. This is not just she popped into the chat and made one statement and left. She made a whole bunch. Now, Foodie, if you were a truly happily married woman, as you claim to be, first of all, ma'am, you would not be seeking out your abusive ex. Secondly, you wouldn't be in their chat when they're doing a live stream. You're with an attractive guy who's supposed to be your husband. What are you doing talking to your ex on YouTube? Why are you in their chat? If you were truly happy, you would not care about Didi and Nadar. You'd be leaving them alone. You would say to yourself, I'm happy. The past is the past, and my future is ahead of me, and I'm looking that way and not backward. Here's some of the statements she said in the chat. She says, that's why when I slept over, you came out crying with your wine. I guess she's talking to Didi. Foodie Beauty, he only claimed you to make me jealous. And you know what, Foodie, this whole thing with Salah was to make him jealous and also show him who's in control. That you're the sugar mama. You're the one with the sugar. He doesn't want to go out and buy his own doggone sugar. So this is just about control. This is you showing the both of them who's in charge, that without you, they have nothing. That's what this is. It's a power play. And it worked. It absolutely worked. Congratulations. You have power over two losers. Okay. Foodie Beauty, jealous of what? You have no job and you're old AF. Again, talking to Didi. And you know what, Foodie? Without YouTube, you wouldn't have a job. You wouldn't have money. But since you're on YouTube, since you have money, you know, you can get control over losers. I guess that's your crowning moment. Foodie Beauty, I remember the green. Foodie Beauty. And you looked at y'all, I am so sorry. If you're drinking tea or coffee right now or eating, put it down. This is gross. So sorry. So incredibly sorry. You look, I can't even say it. I'm so sorry. Okay. I'm trying to be a lady here. Unlike Foodie, I try to be a lady. This statement right here is in reference to her having forgive me, gentlemen in the chat, her having a yeast infection, which It happens to women. And you can clear that up with medication if you want to. But this is in reference to the yeast infection. I don't even want to read this. It's so nasty. Ew. Foodie Beauty, you asked me to kiss your feet because you are sick. Well, you didn't have to. You didn't have to kiss his feet. You did it because you wanted to. And even after you kissed his feet, you went back. And doing the care package thing and showing up at the house with coffee after all the rages. So there's that. Foodie Beauty, your man is in love with me and you know it. He's not in love with you, Foodie. He's in love with your money. He depends on you financially. There's a difference between somebody being honestly, truly in love and being dependent on somebody else's needs. You found a loser that even at 40 plus years old, he looks towards other people to take care of him. Let that sink in. You don't have a real man. You have a guy that just wants to be taken care of. And he thinks he's all that in a bag of potato chips. So he's going to try to find women to take care of him. He still thinks he's got game. He lost his game a long time ago because he doesn't have his own means, nor does he care to get it. You're just a female that has no one, is desperate to be claimed. He picked up on that and took advantage. So there you go. And you over here saying, no, your man is in love with me. That statement told me everything I needed to know. She's with a guy. He's attractive. He doesn't do drugs. He's not out of control, raging. And she is so desperate to tell Dee Dee, oh, he's in love with me. Really? If he's in love with you, Foodie, why is it that you're still giving the money? You're still supporting them? See, because I always thought it was weird that despite the fact that Dee Dee and Nadar, they don't have jobs, who's paying the rent at the villa? I'm sorry, excuse me. Who's paying the rent at the condo? Who's paying the electric bill? Who's paying the water bill? Who's buying the groceries? Has to be you, because neither one of them are working. You've been supporting them this whole time, and will probably continue to support them, and that's your choice if you want to support them. But you're trying to tell a whole bunch of people, I'm done with them. Nah, you're not done. You're not done. You got the hint that people were tired of hearing about Nadar. We were sick of hearing his name. We were sick of seeing his face. You decided to take a break and bring a new cast member into your story and utilize him. And he played his part. And now it's time to bring that arc to a close, because as you've seen, that arc is not really all that profitable. It's boring. And boring does not translate to money or views. It's not making you money. And you have said that if you aren't making money on YouTube, you would not be on YouTube. YouTube is your only income, so you are interested in whatever makes the most money. And you're over there supporting yourself, Pete's, the cats, Dee Dee, Nadar. You got a lot of people on your payroll. So it's important that your channel make a lot of money, right? Because you got a lot of people you got to support. So this little arc in Kuwait, yeah, got to bring it to a close. It's not going to get it done. Not going to get it done at all. What else we got here? You know, another mysterious piece in the Foodie Beauty puzzle / story. So let's talk about Aisha. So they had the Holy Trinity, which they went over to Pizza's chat. They're now modding for him. But Aisha and Missy Moo have become very prominent in Foodie Beauty's chat. And everybody's been wondering about Aisha. Like, who is she? What's her involvement in all of this? Nobody knew. A lot of people speculated, is she someone that she knows? Salah? But it looks like maybe Aisha is connected to perhaps Nadar. Because look at this statement that Foodie Beauty made. And this is courtesy of Katie. She says, how would Aisha know information about Nadar to tell Chantal? We've been assuming that Aisha had a connection related to Salah, when maybe this whole time her connection has been related to Nadar. Yeah, Aisha's been very vocal in Chantal's chats. The Holy Trinity, they took a back seat. They're now with Pete's. Something else I found interesting. They took a back seat and they're over on Pete's side, which means they're still loyal to Chantal. They're just waiting for her to come back from Kuwait. And then I'm pretty sure they'll be back over in her chat. The Holy Trinity will more than likely come back. They're just taking a back seat to all of this right now. They're staying out of the heat of the fire. They don't want nothing to do with it. But they're not completely done with Chantal. They're just taking a rest. They're aligning themselves with Pete's, and as everyone knows, Pete's is aligned with Chantal, so they're still technically in her corner. So, again, Chantal is someone that she doesn't just have her channel. She's all about gathering accomplices for herself to do her dirty work when necessary. She has her allies, she has her accomplices, and they do work for her whenever she asks them to, or they do it out of loyalty, depending on who you're talking to. So yeah, a little interesting tidbit about Aisha. And I would like to go over and credit this person. So sorry, this is from Kristen. This shot was from Kristen. Want to credit her for that. Okay. This is from Hidden Truths, saying, I think this is all staged from the beginning, from when Salah started coming into her live stream, and Aisha is part of it. Agreed. They're not married because a married woman wouldn't lust like she is over her ex. Even though Nadar was never her boyfriend, she showed her crazy side. It's not crazy, though. You just said it, though, Hidden Truths. This is all staged. This is the beginnings of another story arc. She did everything she did with Nadar. She rode that horse as long as she could until they couldn't ride anymore. And then when it fell down, she had to start something else because people were just overboard with Nadar. She did everything she could with Nadar to make money. And that's always been her primary focus, to make money. And how does she make money? With drama. Her content has always been about drama and exploiting all of her addictions and using her audience and her VIPs as her funders and enablers to all of her addictions. She is an addict that has absolutely no interest whatsoever in stopping her addictions or being in recovery for any of them. Why should she? They're all making her money. I will stand on this hill and I will die on it. What we're watching with Chantal is self-harm content. Being a binge eater and binge eating on camera, that's self-harm content. Doing drugs on camera to the excess, self-harm content. Okay? And another thing, while we're here, while I'm thinking about it, you know, YouTube has rules about binge eating. You cannot be on YouTube and monetize content where you are saying outright that you're binging, because that's an ED. You cannot monetize ED content. You can't even get on a channel and make a video just talking about EDs. That's just something about YouTube. But Chantal found a workaround. She started calling her binges beezing, which is allowed on YouTube. She went around the corner to do what she does. Call it a different name, but still do it. So whenever she says, I just want to beeze, what she actually means is, I just want to binge. Whether it's on drugs or alcohol, I just want to binge. I just can't say binge anymore. I can't monetize that content. So let's just give it a cutesy made up name so I can still do it. So again, here's the addict Chantal. no interest in stopping her addictions, finding a way to continue them and get away with it, get paid for it. And part of her addictions, part of her getting funding for her addictions is to make up these dramatic story arcs where she can almost justify her addictions. Oh, I'm going through this trauma. I'm going through that trauma. I'm sad. I'm mad. I'm mad at Nadar. So let me just sit down and do the eating and take the drugs. Yeah. All these story arcs revolve around finding reasons to act outrageously, be outrageous, continue her addictions. That's just my opinion. Another one from Hidden Truths saying, Foodie Beauty, why did Nadar come right back after Chantal being in Kuwait? How perfect timing that all this was. And then tonight her appearance of her talking in his live stream, dreaming about him still. Where is Salah in all this? I'll tell you where Salah is. He was never a main cast member in this story, in this play, this Chantal movie, if you will. He was never going to be a main cast member, especially since he wasn't in love with Chantal and there was no chemistry between them. He was completely standoffish from her. You know, he's going to go the route of, say, Roman. Chantal brought Roman in, but Roman showed his hand too quickly, said he couldn't stand Chantal, and look where he is now. She pushed him out. What did Chantal say? She said, all he has to do is fake love me, and I will give him the world. She was talking about Nadar, but she's also talking about anybody else in her life. So if you're a side cast member, and if you don't show Foodie enough fake love on camera and make it believable and have the audience believe it, she'll push you out. But if you do, you might be able to stay a little longer and benefit from it somehow. So Salah has no obvious love for Chantal. He can't stand her. So he's on his way out very, very quickly. You know, her going in Nadar's chat, I think maybe she wants to end this arc and that's her way of ending it. Let me just do something maybe to piss Salah off and he'll send me home and I could go back home to sit in my room, in my bra, eat my pizza, eat my nashies, do my drugs, because that's really what I want to do. So again, the timing. Today is the 26th of November. December is almost here. She's right on time, our girl. She's right on time. End this arc before the end of the month so she can be home next month to make lots of money on the highest paying month of the year for YouTubers. Right on time, Chantal. I could set my watch by you. All of her arcs last for about 2 weeks to a month, maybe longer if they make money. But just as any story, there's always a beginning, a middle, and an end. And this one is about to end. There was talk saying that she was on her way home right now. And there was a post of her saying that she and Salah are going camping. Yeah. So it's not really a stretch for Chantal to say, oh, I'm going camping. I can't see Chantal camping. I think she's not camping. I think she picked up her suitcase and she might be on her way home right now. Right now. And she might come home and spend some time with Nadar and Dee Dee before she comes back on camera. Little word about that, Chantal. You've been in Kuwait for a while, clean and free of drugs. I'm pretty sure that when you come home, you're going to go nuts with the foods and the drugs. You might want to be careful with that. Your system's been clean for a minute. You don't go overboard. You will seriously hurt yourself. Okay? You will. All right. Next clip. More comments from Chantal to Nadar and Dee Dee. This is courtesy of Kristen. I could take him from you any day, bitch, and you know it. Why would you want to, though? Why would you want to? Is it really a flex to say I could take this crackhead loser away from you? Is it really a flex? Anybody? Anybody out there is this supposed to be a flex? You know what, Chantal? I'll tell you what a flex is. Going after somebody worth something. He's not worth anything. Crackhead, scamming, grifting losers like him, they're a dime a dozen. They're everywhere. Anybody can get and keep one of those. You just got to have enough money. And you do for this one. And that's exactly why he wants you. Now, if he were a quality man who worked, took care of himself, perhaps even you, and you didn't have the money that you have, and he went back to you on his own, I'd say, yeah, he does care about you, but it's always been about the money. He doesn't love you. He needs you. But at the same time, you need him, don't you? You need him. See, there's a difference between love and need. Love means you're around someone because you want to be. You're both strong, independent people, and you enjoy each other's company to the point where you want to make a lifetime out of it. But you need him too, because you know what a train wreck you are. And you don't want to fix yourself. You want to stay broken because staying broken is profitable. And you want whoever you're around to be okay with that. And he's okay with that because he and Dee Dee are profiting off of it. As long as you're a train wreck and bringing in that money, it benefits them. They don't have to work. They don't have to make money. You are the cash cow that they can milk every day. All they got to do is talk to you and spend time around you. I notice that everybody in your life that you have connected to you, none of them are working. None of them are independent. And you like that too. Because as long as they're not working, they're under your control. You've always been a control freak. Find people who are hurting financially, who are lazy, not interested in working, maybe having some issues. Let's take advantage of that. Although I will say, in Pete's defense, I know he's got depression. I'm sorry you have depression, Pete. I know that sucks. I really do hope, Pete, that you work on that. And I hope that the time that you've had away from Chantal, that you've grown a little bit and you see what life is like away from her. It seems like you're doing much better since she's been away. And I hope that when she comes back, you hold on to that. And you say to yourself, I don't want to live like this. I want to be on my own and I don't want her around me. I hope you hold on to that, but something tells me that when she comes back, you're just going to you're going to get too comfortable and you're going to fall back into old habits. I hope that doesn't happen, but I kind of think it does because as long as she's there, you feel too safe with her and you don't want to step out of your safety bubble. Where you go to work now, you will never touch this fupa ever again in your life. Your man obsessively talks about me. Dodo love that for you. Yeah, he does. And Foodie, you're an idiot. Nadar knows that without you, his channel's going to die. I mean, he took a break, came back, and the first thing he talked about was you. Really, talked about you. This man who said, leave me alone, don't talk to me, the first thing he does when he comes back is talk about you. He was baiting you to talk to him, poking at you, knowing that you were still watching, knowing that he could get to you. And you took the bait. You absolutely took the bait. Idiot. You know, what are you doing anyway, Foodie? Going over to the channel of a man who supposedly abused you. Explain that to me, please. I don't get it. I really don't freaking get it. Can't relate. Can't relate. I've been in abusive relationships. I'm going to say, can't relate to you. Can't relate. No. Absolutely cannot. Oh, yes. So this happened too. Pete's, excuse me, Pete started up memberships. And Foodie, I don't know why she was jealous of Pete's making his memberships. I don't see why she would be jealous, but she did. She's had memberships for the longest. Why would it bother her if her roommate has got memberships? But then it hit me. Foodie is one of those people, she does not like to see anybody around her, anybody under her thumb to do good. That if they're not doing good, that means she's always got her foot on their neck. She can maintain control. In the past, when Pete's mentioned talking to a girl, what was her name, Winnie, in Winnipeg, she got jealous. She got so jealous, even though she was no longer interested in Pete's, could not stand to see him happy, or the idea of another woman talking to Pete's, because if there was another woman in the picture, that means somebody else might have influence and control. So she wants to keep him weak so that she can control him. So Pete has been on his own for a minute. Now he's doing memberships. He seems a lot happier. So, of course, she's going to put her nose in his chat where she does not belong. Oh, and this is also the community post that Foodie made after being in Nadar's chat. And this is courtesy of That's Lindsay with an A, who has a great channel, by the way. Uh, she says, I should have never let myself get triggered last night. I am sorry to all. It will never happen again. Yeah, it'll never happen again because you're coming home and you're going to be seeing Nader and Dee Dee. Come on now. As soon as you get off that plane, you're going straight to their house. You know you will. You're going straight to Nader and Dee Dee. Maybe he might sell you some party favors because you haven't had party favors in Kuwait. Come on, girl. We know you. We know you. We know what's up. Everybody's been saying it. I've been saying it. The moment she gets back home to Canada, she's going to have the mother of all bitches. Food, drugs, whatever. Because she's an addict with multi-level addict. She's going to go straight for her addictions because she's not had access to them in Kuwait. Some of them. She had access to food and she couldn't stay away from food. Y'all think she's going to stay away from food and drugs in Canada? No, no, no. And I'm not saying that as a hater. I'm just saying that as a person that I wasn't addicted to food. And one addict cannot lie to another addict. You can't lie to one of your own. They'll see right through your bullshit. I'm seeing through hers. Okay. I haven't seen anything of her trying to quit, stay away, stop herself. No, no, she's going to run. She's going to run right back to everything. Oh, y'all see what's there. And this is courtesy of, I want to give proper credit to P on Twitter. Look at the statement she made. You stole my freaking man. Still going on with that. You stole my man. First of all, Foodie, you cannot steal a person from another person. A person is a living being with their own free will, their own thoughts and feelings. They're not a pair of shoes. They are not a piece of bubble gum. You can't steal a person. They go where they want to go. They do what they want to do. Nader went to Dee Dee because he wanted to. Dee Dee doesn't have to pay him thousands of dollars to be with him, and she could be in his company for more than 2 days. You and Nader just don't get along because you're both headstrong control freaks, narcissists. You can't have two of those in the same household. It just doesn't work. One person's got to take the back seat to the other's ego, and you both have huge egos. But you're making this statement, you stole my man. So you're with an attractive man in Kuwait, a decent guy who's not a hothead, and you're still making these statements. If you were really done with Nader, you'd be saying, I'm glad you took him from me. He wasn't much to begin with. He was a sorry excuse for a man. But you're still raging about this. Still raging. Still. Why? Why do that? Who cares? If she's with him now, you're with Salah, right? Yeah. Okay. There's something wrong with you. Anybody who would fly to another country just to make somebody else jealous, there's something wrong with you. There's something seriously wrong with you. Insane. Insane. You flew to Kuwait and you spent time around Salah to make him jealous. And like I said, it was a power play. You were showing the sugar baby who's the boss, who's got the money, and if you're not around, what's going to happen? That's what it is. Control. Her and Nadar always going back and forth about who has got the control. So you showed him, I got control. And it worked. It worked. He wants to see you. He's like, come on over. I'll cook for you. Him and Dee Dee were excited when you came into the chat. These people that said all these awful things about you, cursed you out, you cursed them out. They're like, come home, Foodie. I'll cook for you. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Oh, this is also in Nadar's chat. This is courtesy of Kristen. She said, I had too much Arabic coffee. She hates the Arabic coffee. She hates it because it's not Starbucks and it's not coffee loaded up with sugar. She hates it. So she's blaming her coming into Nadar's chat on Arabic coffee. I'm sorry, y'all. What? Oh, that coffee made you get in front of your phone and type up his channel. That's the reason. Is this like the new version of it wasn't my fault I was drunk, or it wasn't my fault I was stoned, or it wasn't my fault I was high? Is that what this is? She's I can't. I can't. So she can't say, oh, I was drunk, I was stoned, I was high in Kuwait. So she got to blame it on the coffee. Yeah, the coffee's going to make you go into the chat of an abusive ex, and talk to him. It's the coffee's fault. It's the coffee's fault, y'all. The coffee's to blame. Bad coffee. Bad. Dang, Arabic coffee must be pretty doggone powerful. It's mind controlling, I tell you. She says, and I couldn't sleep, and I was so impulsive and snapped. Now I'm going to be in trouble. Nah, I don't think you're going to be in trouble. I think that Salah knows what's up. I think that he agreed upon to spend time with you, and your time is about up, and you want to be done. He wants to be done. So let's just wrap this up. That's what I think. Then she says, I have the same dreams every night. The Burger King, the desert, followed by Nadar, and trying to get to each other. And then Dee Dee goes on a smoke break, and he snatches me up. What kind of dream is this? So basically, you're saying, like, in your dreams that you dream of getting to Nadar. You still want him. You still want this man. And you know what, Foodie? At this point in the game, listen, you want to be with Nadar, go be with Nadar. It's your choice. It's your life. Just stop lying about it. Why do you keep lying? What you do with your life is what you do, but stop lying. That's what makes the audience not like you. You lying about shit. You constantly lie, then you get caught, then you get mad because you get caught because you're a bad liar. Maybe I need closure, like to yell at him one more time or something. But you've already done that. You keep saying, I need closure. What kind of closure? What kind? You know what? Screw that. You don't want closure. You don't want closure to this thing. Why do you want closure to something you want to continue? Especially somebody that's making you money. You don't want closure, you liar. You want to continue it because the whole Nadar Chantal thing, it made you a lot of money. And you want to go back to that. And you want to go back to him. You don't want closure. Because you want him in the picture. You want Dee Dee in the picture. The drama between all three of you is spicy. And it makes money for your channel. Just tell the truth. Foodie Beauty, do any of you know what it feels like to have your heart ripped out and stepped on over and over? You know what? That's in the past. That's in the past. Right? You're moving on to people like Salah and Motorcycle Guy and whatnot. Yeah, I've had my heart ripped out and stepped on and over. I've had all of that. You wouldn't believe the things that I've been through. But you know what? If it was bad, it wasn't meant for you. If you're around someone and they do those things to you, they are not the right person. It's time to move it along. Time to let it go. You keep going back to it. Because you're an idiot. No sympathy for you. How old are you? You're 38 years old. And carrying on with a loser. I got no sympathy. No, sure don't. Oh, here's a clip from Shenanigans. Chantal's and Nadar's chat. Screenshot coming below.
In front of my apartment.
Chantal, if you were in love with your new husband, the robot man, and if you were really in love like you say you are in your videos, you would not be in this chat tonight.
You know what? I don't like you, Dee Dee. You're a scum too. But I agree with you. Absolutely 110% agree with you. If this whole thing with Chantal was real, if she really loved Salah, if she cared for Salah at all, she would not be in the chat of her abusive ex. Makes no sense. Especially if you're newly married. Are you joking? Are you serious? And you know what, Chantal? I'm going to say this to you. If you ever come over here and listen, you are in a self-destructive, toxic cycle in your life. You have no interest in breaking free of it because you refuse to let go of things that hurt you, of people that hurt you, people that use you. Okay? So, a little tough love here. Sometimes you got to let people fall before they get it. You need to fall hard. But you may not. But you have a history of being with somebody and doing them dirty. You're with Pete. You cheated on Pete repeatedly. One of those people was BB. And then you're with BB. You cheated on him. So at this point in time, you don't deserve nor need a decent man. I have said before that people in your chat keep saying, you deserve better. You know what I say to those people? No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. Why? Because she's not a decent person. She's a cheater. She's a liar. She's a manipulator. Someone like her would take a good man and ruin them. Like she did to Pete. She put him in debt. She broke his heart. She broke him down emotionally, mentally, psychologically. Look how he is now. That's what happens when a decent person gets near Chantal. Notice that Chantal's family doesn't talk to her. Notice that some of her best friends, she's turned on them. She's a vicious, vile creature that destroys anything good that comes near her. She doesn't appreciate anything or anyone. She don't deserve a good person. Chantal she got a snapshot of what it would be like to be in a normal relationship with somebody without the drugs, without the binging. She couldn't stand it. She hated it. So Chantal, you want a relationship with someone, you got an idea at least of what it would be like, and you couldn't deal with it because you could not indulge in the toxicity. You prefer the toxicity over something stable and balanced. You gravitate towards the toxic. So you're flying back home and you're going to surround yourself with toxicity. And you know what? Your life, your choice. But don't expect sympathy from the audience. Don't expect it from me or any reactor or any audience member or any VIB if you go back to Nadar and the bullshit starts happening all over again. Because you invited it into your life, you accepted it, and you're not trying to change it.
You would not be here trying to still bring up the things that you say he did to you. You know you wouldn't. So, you are not in love with Salah, and you are still in love with Nadar. Just admit it.
Show me.
Pack your bags and come back to Canada.
See, that's them basically begging her to come home. Pack your bags and come home. Come home to us. Come home to us. They're begging her to come back. Because when she comes back home, you know, if Nadar gets money, then it takes care of Dee Dee. So they both want her back.
And I will feed you.
Oh, y'all hear that? Hear what he just said? Hear what he just said? Hold on.
And I will give you my feet to kiss it again, my boy.
Hold on, I gotta back it all the way up. Excuse me, sorry.
Just admit it.
Show me.
Pack your bags and come back to Canada.
And I will feed you.
Boom. So they're supposed to hate each other. And he's saying, come back home, I'll feed you. Like an old friend. This abusive man who essayed her, who DV'd her, like an old friend. I'll feed you. But you're supposed to hate Chantal, Nadar. You too, Dee Dee. You guys can't stand each other, allegedly, yet you're begging her to come home and you'll feed her. Fuck out of here.
And I will give you my feet to kiss it again, my boy. In front of my
Nadar.
apartment.
All right. Okay, this is like a palate cleanser. Palate cleanser. This is an ice cave. Look how beautiful that is. Oof. I want to take a walk in there. Look how cool that is. Oh, that'd be so amazing for photography. I'm into photography, y'all. Can't help it. I love street photography. And one of my favorite street photographers is Dorothea Lang. Wonderful photographer. But look at this ice cave. Dude, can you imagine just spending some time in there? Absolutely breathtaking. Nature is amazing. It's so amazing. And this is from, let's see, Cosmic Gaia. Yeah, it's an ice cave. Amazing. Anyway, I just thought I'd put that in there as a palate cleanser. So let me just turn that off for a second. So yeah. Remember, y'all, Chantal has always said that it's her story. And all stories have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And that includes her story arcs. She'll start up an arc, let it run, find some way to end it like, oh, I blocked him, he blocked me, blah, blah, blah. And then she'll start up another fresh arc, and that's how she does her content. You know, to keep her channel going, to keep her income going, she comes up with all these ridiculous toxic arcs. And so the Salah arc is boring, not making her money. So she's ready to come home and really get it started. So if you're someone and you're a clip channel, a reaction channel, advice here, load up on your drinks, load up on your snacks, load up on your food, strap in. It's about to get crazy. We're about to enter Crack Olympics 2.0. It's about to be turned up to 11 again. We might see Chantal do 6 and 10 hour live streams again. I don't miss those. I don't miss them at all. No, no, please, no, 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 no. But it's about to go down. Anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed this react video. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.